5:45 right now. That just almost makes you feel like dancing, doesn't it?
It always does, yes.
All right, speaking of dancing parties, this is a symbol of Latino culture that really has a long and fascinating history, deeply rooted in traditions that go all the way back to the Aztec Empire.
So we're talking about a pinata, and in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, Luz Delia Caballero is sharing how an artist out of California is transforming the way people see them.
We're currently in my studio in El Sereno. It's coming along. What you're seeing is actually 14 years of work, close to 15 years.
It's where Roberto Benavidez's beautiful ideas come to life.
So this is what it all starts with, the paper mache part.
He gently makes strips of paper and a glue solution.
And I just mix that with a little water and just dip these strips of paper in and cover the balloon.
And this is only the beginning of a long process of making his version of a piñata.
Piñata is a cultural object, usually used in celebrations.
A tradition that dates back to the 14th century.
It's coming along, starting to look like a bird.
The Aztecs traditionally honored their gods by filling a small feather-covered pot with treasures and hitting it until all the contents fell at the feet of a statue.
With the metallic, it does take a little bit longer.
So yes, these beautiful creations were essentially made to be smashed, but Benavidez wants to expand the breadth of what a piñata can be.
My goal was to push it out of the realm of only destruction to being preserved and actually admired and cared for in a long-term sense. And I've slowly developed a style where I use serrated fringe and use all acid-free materials just to make sure my pieces last for as long as they can.
His creations becoming a symbol and celebration of Mexican culture, a sculpture, if you will, which is fitting given his artistic background.
The fun aspect is figuring things out. So I didn't go to school for art. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I studied bronze casting.
But Benavidez happily traded bronze for paper mache and strips of glue-soaked paper because
I really liked the idea of highlighting the Mexican cultural object in the fine art world.
it was more affordable and allowed him to show who he is with every design.
I'm always Mexican, I'm always white, I'm always gay, whether you know it or not. So that's kind of the identity that I push.
As for whether these have any surprises inside,
I do put stuff inside, but I don't talk about it. And it gives me the freedom to add something to a piece that may be very personal for me that I don't want to share with everybody. This can be quite tedious, but it's always worth it.
And what a tease, because you're going to want to know what's inside, but you really don't want to break it
Fascinating.
apart. Our producer, Katie, was telling us that his piñatas, she looked them up, they run about $1,800. So you don't want to be smashing that thing
Yeah,
if you
you're
end
not
up getting
bashing that
one.
one.
You're going to be hanging it up as it really is a piece of art. That was incredible work.